Cataract is just the opacification of the lens. Now, if you look at this model of the eye, the first thing you see when you look at the eye is a membrane that covers this part of the eye we call the conjunctiva. That's the first thing you see there. So immediately after the conjunctiva, the white part of the eye is what we call the sclera. Then that black thing you see, that black round thing is the cornea. This cornea that is glassy and is very, very transparent. So when you open the eye, this is the cornea, that is the outer part. The next thing you meet when you remove your eye is what we call the iris. This is the iris of the eye. Now the iris gives the eye its color. In black people, it's either brown or black. In white people, it can be blue, it can be green. So this is what gives the eye its color. So the hole in between the iris is what we call the pupil. That is where light passes through. So light passes through the cornea and then passes through the pupil. And then what you have behind it is what we call the lens. This is the lens of the eye. That is the one that is next to, just behind the iris. That is the lens. And our topic for today is cataract, and that is where our main focus will be. That's on the lens. The lens is right inside the eye. These two organs that are transparent, the cornea and the lens, are responsible for all the refractive power of the eye. So every light that is coming in through the eye passes through the cornea, is refracted, passes through the lens, is refracted. When I use the word refraction, what it means is that they have the ability to channel the light to where it should be at the back of the eye. So if one of these is missing, either this or this, you discover that the ability of light to be focused on the back of the eye, which is the retina, is affected. The lens is a biconcave structure. So light passes here, comes out of here. So it's supposed to be transparent. So once you start developing cataract, what you mean by cataract is that the lens now starts becoming opaque. It starts becoming turbid. It's no more transparent. So one thing with cataract is that it can occur in any part of the lens. The anterior part of the lens, the posterior part of the lens, the medial part of the lens, which we call the nucleus, can be affected. And they could become opaque. So if it's the anterior part that is affected, we say it's an anterior capsular cataract. If it's the posterior part that is affected, we say it's a posterior capsular cataract. If it's the middle, which is the nucleus that is affected, we say it's a nuclear cataract. Now, each and every one of them have their problems differently, the way they present. So immediately after the lens, the next thing you see is a liquid. There is a jelly liquid in the eye, which we call the vitreous. In fact, this jelly liquid gives the eye its shape. It's what maintains the shape of the eye. So if anything happens to this liquid tomorrow and then it is off, the shape of the eye is usually distorted. And it's also transparent. The semi-liquid is also transparent, so that light can pass through to this part of the eye we call the retina. You can see the retina has blood vessels. Now, this thing you see that comes out of the back of the retina is what we call the optic nerve. This one gets to the brain and get connected to the brain. So that any image that is coming here is interpreted by the retina and then sent to the brain. So it is the brain that tells you what you are seeing. So that is just the basic structure of the eye. And the eye, they say, can be likened to a camera, the retina being the film, and all these are just for focus. And the good thing about the eye is that if you look at the human eye, one important thing there, the pupil is very important because it is the pupil that actually controls the amount of light that enters the eye. This small hole you are seeing there, that's why when you shine a torch on the eye, that hole constricts because the eye doesn't like much light. The pupil constricts, it becomes smaller, so that just very tiny bit of light can enter. Then when you are in an environment where there is no light, the eye opens because the light is not enough, it's looking for light. You see that place is dilated. It is said that in this environment, our environment, in fact, in the world per se, cataract is is the highest cause of reversible blindness in this environment. When we say reversible, it means the blindness from cataract can be reversed. Being the highest cause of reversible blindness in the world, I think it's followed by glaucoma. Cataract is the opacification of this lens. And usually when you have opacification of this lens, it becomes in stages. It can be very small, it can be big, it can be small. The one way of categorizing cataract is where you find them. If it's anterior, we say it's anterior cataract. If it is middle, we say it's nuclear cataract. If it is behind, we say it's posterior cataract. The same thing, you can have cataract affecting the whole of the layers of the lens. That we call total cataract. Another way you can also classify cataract is based on chronology. Children are born with cataract. So once the child is born with cataract, we say that is congenital cataract. If you find cataract in a child between the ages of 1 year to 2 years, we say it's infantile cataract. If you find cataract in a child between the ages of 1 year to 13 years, we say it's juvenile or developmental cataract. If you find cataract in a child that has grown between the ages of 1 to 49 years old or so, we say it's a developmental cataract. Then when you find cataract in those that are age 50 and above, we say it's a senile cataract. So you can classify cataract based on chronology. Then you can also classify cataract based on causes, based on etiology, what causes cataract. So you'll be talking of things like trauma. When you have trauma to the eye, can cause cataract. There are certain drugs that when you take can cause cataract, especially the pregnant women. There are certain drugs like thalidomide and others they take during pregnancy that can cause cataract. There are certain maternal infections during pregnancy, things like toxoplasmosis, cytomegalovirus infections can affect the child, and the child can come out with congenital cataract. There are some syndromes that are associated with children that can make them also have cataract. For instance, now, like children with Down syndrome, cataract is common among them. There's what we call the Edwards syndrome, and there's what we call the Patau syndrome. Those children too, they are prone to having cataracts. There are some metabolic diseases that the children may have that may also predispose them to having cataract. One of them is diabetes. The other one is what we call galactosemia.